Hello everybody, I'm Dragon Tamer Art and welcome to today's speed paint. It's day 18 of Monster March and the theme is Kaiju. For those who don't know, Kaiju is a catch-all term for giant monster. There are an uncountable number of Kaiju out there, but for today I'll be painting the king of them all, Godzilla. I will be giving some minor spoilers for the movie Shin Godzilla, so here's your warning for that. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Here is today's model. This is Shin Godzilla, and you'll notice that when he uses his nuclear breath attack, his lower jaw splits in half, making it so he can open his mouth much wider. A Kaiju's abilities are what makes them stand out, and Shin Godzilla has a power that no other Godzilla has ever had, controlled mutation. This allows him to adapt to any situation he finds himself in. In the movie, it's even said that if he wanted to, he could evolve wings to allow him to fly. Shin Godzilla started off as a marine organism that fed on nuclear waste. From there, he mutated into a large marine monster, whose tail is the only thing ever shown. He later makes landfall, crawling on his belly until it causes him too much pain, so he then mutated a pair of back legs to help him walk upright. After a short walk destroying the city, his body began to overheat due to it now being a living nuclear reactor, so he dived into the ocean where it could cool off and he would come back in the form I'm painting now that allowed him to stay on land. Shin has the most unique nuclear breath attacks as well. He has the normal breath attack, but as the military attacks him, he mutates new ways to use it. After being hit with bunker busters, the strongest bombs next to nukes, he starts firing beams straight from his dorsal spines, stopping more bombs from hitting him. Later, he mutated a face in his tail, which allowed him to fire the beams from his mouth and tail at the same time. The inspiration for Shin Godzilla came from how the Japanese government mishandled the 2011 earthquake and tsunami disasters. This is shown by the government spending much of the movie holding meetings over things like what department jurisdiction does this fall under and does it require military force, things that would normally be really obvious. Much like the disasters that Shin was inspired by, he is a force of nature. He has no clear goal and really just wanders the city aimlessly, like an animal lost in a world he doesn't understand. In fact, the OST that plays during his last quote attack has the lyrics like, "I am lost," and "but I must carry on." It's actually quite a sad song, and I'll leave a link to it in the description if you'd like to check it out. I won't give away too much of the ending, but I will say this. The Japanese are able to stop Godzilla in his tracks, and the movie ends on one of the most eerie cliffhangers ever. They set up a sequel that may go into production after Godzilla vs. King Kong is out in the US. Now that I'm just about done drawing it and I'm going to start moving into the painting portion, I'm going to stop talking about the story and more about how I'm making this painting. There are a lot of shots in the movie of Shin Godzilla standing in his fiery destruction, so to recreate that I made a mat of water and used different shades of yellow, orange, and red for the fire and blend them together with the smoke and clouds in the sky. I also added some purple into the sky to complement his nuclear breath. Shin's design really stands out from the other Godzillas. He has a lot of folds of skin, vestigial / stunted body parts, and teeth jutting out in all different directions. This is in line with some real-world effects shown to happen with aquatic animals that live in areas affected by nuclear disaster. The folds of skin were probably the hardest part of this painting. They have a red glow to them, and during my first attempt the red bled too much, so I had to scrap that painting and make this one. I didn't give Shin any pupils because when he's using his nuclear breath, he has a nictitating membrane, or second eyelid, that covers it. This lets him see while protecting his eyes. Birds and amphibians have these same thing. In other Godzillas, the nuclear breath and dorsal spines have a blue or whitish glow to them. Shin Godzilla's is actually purple, which makes him stand out a little bit more. You'll also see that he's got some gill slits on his neck that glow purple when he uses his breath as well. The tail is probably the strangest part of Shin Godzilla. It's showed throughout the movie to be all bloody and gnarled, and about halfway through it pops a face out to shoot nuclear breath, and it's pretty much the whole thing about that cliffhanger I was telling you about earlier. And with that, we have the king of the kaiju, Godzilla. Tell me what you think and leave your suggestions for more in the comments below. If there are any other G fans out there, tell me what your favorite Godzilla movie is. After Shin Godzilla, mine would have to be Final Wars, and I will die on that hill. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and remember, never stop improving.